Aloha friends, this is Tito for the LoliNation blog, coming to you on this edition of Marvellous Mondays. Yes, again, I'm starting up the new season. For those of you who are my prescribers, I'm going to be fanning some mosquitoes out here as I am in a little park in downtown Montreal. But nonetheless, for those of you who are my subscribers on LoliNation.com, you know that I've turned 44 on the 10th of September, and I consider this the start of my year. This is when I continue to build my transformation personally and internally. Therefore, I thought it'd be appropriate to consider the 10 principles towards a prodigious attitude vlogs that I've posted back starting from May when I started this blog to be what I consider the pilot season, just like in TV. And as we are starting in September, pilot season, or the regular season for TV is starting in the fall, I will consider this actually the official LoliNation blog, first season, first episode, title, Putting the Right Foot Forward. It's coming over to you. So for those of you who followed me on the pilot season and continue to do so, I appreciate it. This is what makes me want to come back and share with you my insights. So without further ado, I'm going to go straight into the insight I've gathered. So 2 weeks ago, I've shared with you that I had the honor and the chance to be taught my first surfing lessons, how to surf, from a Hawaiian legend, Titus Kinimaka. So on the islands of Hawaii in Kauai, we've learned how to surf. And what I would like to share with you is the continued random observations and learnings that I've had from that experience overall. I'm going to set it up. We were a group of 25. The instructors took us and got us on our boards on dry land. And from there, he proceeded to tell us how to actually stand on the board and to pop up. Popping up means that you're actually crouching on the board, and as the wave comes in, you'll actually pop up and stand up. And he said the foot that you would put forward on your board is actually the foot that feels most natural for you. So as all of us prepared to do this, we just got up and did it on dry land. And after we've done that for about 10 minutes or so, then we got into the water, and the instructors proceeded to get the waves for us, and we would go paddle, 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 stand up, and ride the wave right in. Now, my son Brandon, who's an athlete, a hockey player, double letters hockey player, was very strong. He was not able to stand up on the board. He was getting on his knees, got some waves in, but he was not standing up. And he was getting disappointed. He was getting saddened by this because he's fairly competitive and he's also very proud. Everyone else around in the group was able to get up on the board and stand and ride it in. Now, unbeknownst to me, Brandon actually had Titus with him for the most part of the lesson. Titus was trying to figure out what Brandon needed to do. So he was giving him pointers. Do this, change that, stand up here, go from that perspective. And yet Brandon was not able to. While when we were nearing the end of the lesson, that was just an hour lesson, Titus turned around to Brandon and said, you know, Brandon, what you need to do now is just change your footing. Why don't you try your left foot first rather than your right foot? What was natural for Brandon, because he's a right-handed kid, was actually to stand up and get on his right foot forward. And when he did the switch, boom, magic, transformation. New learned skills hit him right off the spot, and he took off. But the lesson was done. The lesson was done. Therefore, that's the one wave he rode in with Titus. However, after that, we kept our boards, and Brandon rode in waves after waves after waves after waves. So key things here, 3 key lessons I have gathered and observed from that experience overall. The first lesson is for the coaches, for the leaders, for those of you who are independent business owners, for those of you who lead or manage a team overall, for those of you who coach kids or adults. It is important for the coach to continue to observe what kind of format or environment of learning that the coach sets up, as long as they continue to tweak. When they tweak, that the learner still wants to be there. I believe Titus Kinimaka was instrumental in Brandon's continued perseverance. Of course, he has great perseverance, great resilience, one of his key characters as an individual. But if Titus was not there changing and tweaking and giving him feedback, constructive feedback on a positive manner to continue him to change, maybe Brandon might have quit. Maybe he might have. But he kept on. And the second thing is that he noticed and tried different things, just didn't let the learner do the same thing again and saying, you're not getting it, just do it. You're not getting it, just do it. He says, you're doing it right, but it's not that. That's not what I needed to change for you. Let me figure it out again. A coach needs to figure out what to change in the learner. Isn't that key? A coach needs to be able to do that. Now, when Brandon changed, he kept on his foot what was the most natural footing, which is the right foot. But he had to use his left foot. Now think about it. If you think about it in your life, sometimes things that come naturally is the most unnatural for our new learned skills. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes some things that come naturally is the most unnatural skill to have for a new learned skill. You need to switch it up, going from the right foot to the left foot. The right foot was forward, you needed to put the left foot forward, and suddenly, boom, magic, transformation, wrote it in. Third lesson, very simple. As he continued to fail, because it was failure, he was not able to get up. He was not getting up on the board. He was getting disappointed. He was seeing everyone, his friends, younger friends, his little sister, getting on the board and riding the boards in, and he could not. It was failure. But within that failure, he persevered. Because he persevered, he continued to paddle. Because he persevered, he knew exactly when to ride that board, and when the wave took off, he knew exactly when to stand. So when the instructors left, and some of us, mainly me, struggled to catch the right wave because we couldn't get that rhythm yet in catching the right wave, Brandon rode wave after wave after wave after wave because he kept at it, and in his failure, he continued to learn things that were important, continued to gather skills, things that were important for him to surf and catch waves after he fixed that one little thing he could not get. So, amidst the failure of that one thing that should be big, there's a lot of learning that when put all together became huge and created success for Brandon. It's not the same thing in life overall. You're doing this big thing, you're trying, but what one key component, you're not quite there yet. But if you quit, you're not continuing to garner the lessons or the skills or the competencies that you require to carry on. Now, how are you going to do that? How you keep doing it? You've got to figure it out. You've got to figure out 3 key things, 3 key life lessons. I love it. I hope you've enjoyed this post and this vlog. I certainly did. Putting it together, thinking about it, and the information that I gathered and observed through the surfing lessons on the islands of Hawaii, which is still very near and dear to my heart. So if you do like it, please hit the like button below here. If you want to subscribe to my blog, if you aren't yet, go to www.LoliNation.com at this address over here. If you don't want to do that, you can also subscribe on the YouTube channel here. Please leave me comments. Let me know what you think. You can also go on Facebook at LoliNation page on my Facebook and keep track of what we do. I'm going to continue coming on this on a weekly basis, getting to you all the strategies, tactics, learnings, and knowledge as I continue my own transformational journey, my own LoliNation. Being what I've called now a Lolipreneur is an important part of my life as I set out on the 44 years of my life. So as always, remember, right? Remember, what you did in the past made you who you are here today. What you did in the past made you who you are here today. But what you learned today, what you learn today and what you do with what you learn today, that's when the magic comes. That's when you start to transform, and that transformation is continuous. When you do all of that, that's how you define who you will become tomorrow. And that's what this journey, that's what this blog is all about. So I look forward to speaking to you next time. This is Tito for the LoliNation blog saying aloha, mahalo, until next time, and to your prodigious success.